Welcome to another edition of the Nate Moore Show, on the air with you every Wednesday night. Our show is brought to you by Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm Darren Washington. With me is Coach Moore. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Last Friday night, the Tigers got their first win of the season, beating Glen Oak 24-10. Besides the win, what excited you the most about the game?
Well, it's always great to be at home, in front of our fans for a game, and it's a Stark County team, and there's just not a whole lot of teams from around the county that will play us. So that's always great to play a team from the county, a local team, and it's a game that's become a pretty good rivalry over the past years, and so there's that excitement to go along with the game.
In what areas did your team spend the most time last week in practice getting ready for Glen Oak?
Well, we just went back to work, and keep swinging, practice harder, and be more focused, and all those things that we always work on, and we just try to work on them even harder.
For the second straight week, the Tigers were penalized a lot. How do you overcome that problem?
Well, there's kind of two different kinds of penalties that we were faced with. We were faced with some football penalties, and sometimes those things happen from playing hard. They're not good, but and those are things that we continue to work on. The really concerning penalties are the personal fouls, and those they have to stop. Our guys can't keep doing that, and they just have to quit. How
important was it to have two-way performer Jameer Thomas back on the field?
It was good. Jameer did his role well, rushed for 100 yards, played in some really big spots on defense and made some plays. Really happy with his performance.
In a moment, we'll meet a Tiger player and hear more from Coach Moore. But first, this word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Everything that goes into a Lennox system is engineered for absolute comfort. Like the parts that create your perfect temperature and humidity, or the parts that purify the air. Together, all these parts save you up to half off your heating and cooling bills. And there are few things more comforting than that.
The future of home comfort is here now at Reliable Heating and Cooling. Get the latest innovation and technology at Reliable.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Thank you, Reliable Heating and Cooling. Joining Coach Moore and I is Lucas McGuire. Lucas, how old were you when you started playing football?
I started playing football, flag football, when I was pretty young, about 6 years old, but it never really started getting competitive till I started tackle football about 4th grade.
You are a two-way star for the Tigers. Tell us the positions you play.
I play right guard on offense and nose guard for defense.
Do you like offense or defense better? Why?
I'd probably prefer offense because of how long I've always played it. I'm kind of new to defense, and I just understand the position a lot more.
How much rest do you get so that you're not playing every single down?
Coach Simon, my defensive coach, he makes sure to give me a lot of rest, so I'm fresh for offense every series. So pretty much whenever I feel tired, I can just let him know, and he'll give me the rest I need.
How did you feel after beating Glen Oak last Friday night?
It felt amazing because it was, like Coach said, it was home, and everyone, you could just hear all the stands and how happy everyone was that we finally got the first season win and everything, and it was a lot of weight lifted off our shoulders.
As a two-way lineman, tell us a bit about the Warren defensive front and the Warren offensive line.
I know for defense, they have a lot of two-way players, and they have a big line, so I know it's going to get pretty intense because we have a big trench life too, and we like to pride ourselves with our trench life and how hard we fight, and I think that their trench lives also, they fight pretty hard. So I think it's going to be a great matchup, and I think other than their size, that we're definitely have the advantage when it comes to physicality.
Coach Moore, your Tigers will play their first road game this week as you travel to Warren Harding. What are some of the challenges you face when you take a team to the road for the first time?
Well, the biggest thing is that it's just different, and in general, people don't do very well with change or things being different. So it's just working through that process, and we try to keep as much the same as we can. But there's things that are different. We've got an hour and a half, hour and 45-minute bus ride. So we'll get on the road, and some of our meetings we'll do there, some of them we'll do here, but try to keep as much the same.
The Massillon/Warren rivalry goes back a long way. Is that something you and your coaches talk about with your current players as much?
Yeah, that'll definitely come up. This is a traditional rivalry from the old All-American Conference, and it's a game that means a lot to our fans, and so it means a lot to us.
The Raiders have several outstanding athletes that I'm sure jump out on film. Offensively, who has caught your eye, and what will Harding run on offense?
I'd say their best skill player is Jalen Hooks. He's a returning two-way player from last year. He's a kid with a bunch of Division I offers. Definitely their best skill player. Offensively, they're a little bit of spread and a little bit of double tight end, two back sets. They'll get in some three tight end stuff and some unbalanced things, and I think the key for them is to try to run the football. They've got they play two quarterbacks week one, both of them new, so I think they're still trying to figure out their identity, but running the football is going to be important for them.
How about Harding's defense?
They have a new defensive coordinator. They are still an even front, still quarters coverage basically on the back end. But they do some things a little different. Jalen Hooks, like I said, their best skill position player. They have a really good linebacker, number 5, and a returning starter on their defensive line. Number 91 is a junior, is a really good defensive tackle. He's going to be the biggest challenge for us up front, is being able to handle him. Lucas will be a big key in that. But they present some issues. They're talented, they're big, they're a good team.
And finally, what do you see as the keys for a Tiger win against Harding this Friday night?
I think the biggest thing is for us to stopping the run on defense, and being able to establish our ground game offensively, I think is key as well.
We want to thank Coach Moore and Lucas McGuire for joining us on the show today. Our show is brought to you each week by Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm your host, Darian Washington. Stay with us. Coming up next is Swing, featuring the Tiger Swing Band director, Jason Neel. Thanks for watching, and go Tigers.
Greatest tradition of high school football rivalry is McKinley-Massillon.
There's an amazing history of tradition.
Both sides take it seriously.
Both Canton and Massillon embrace football being important.
Football is Massillon.
Canton is football.
What football means to the area, it's really the founding of the game.
Massillon City Schools is proud to have one of the top career technical education programs in the state of Ohio, recently receiving a #1 ranking of the 93 districts in the area of achievement. Our Career Technical Education Department offers 14 pathways preparing students for college and careers. All students have the opportunity to participate and compete in their career technical student organization, as well as obtain valuable experience in the field while earning aligned industry credentials and/or college credit in high school. Visit massillonschools.org for more information.
Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Swing with Tiger Swing Band Director Jason Neel, on the air with you every Wednesday night following the Nate Moore Show. Our show is brought to you each week by our good friends at Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon. And I'm your host, Dave Sheets, and of course with me again this week is Jason Neel. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me again, Dave.
Our pleasure. Well, after a long holiday weekend, you're back at it. We're back to school today, of course, and your band performed at halftime last Friday night of the Glen Oak game. And looking back, how would you judge that performance?
Well, that was a special show for us. We'd been planning that for a while, and a lot of pieces and parts to that. We had our 7th grade football team join us, and the cheerleaders, and a lot of drum sets on the field and things like that. So overall, I thought the crowd received it well. I thought the band performed well, and we had a lot of fun doing that show.
A lot of energy in the stadium on Friday, wasn't there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Now, there's a long process as you pick a show, put it together. Can you tell us how all that comes together from beginning to performance night, basically?
Well, you take a show like that. We had an idea back in April for that. And then you've got to find music to go with it. So you have to order the music, you know, then you get the band to actually learn the music, then you have to write the routines and you know, put that drill together, and then we pass that out to our squad leaders and they teach the members of the band where to go and march. And we have every student write their routine right into their music so that they know exactly where they're going, and then we make recordings of all the songs, and we actually practice marching without playing so they can hear themselves playing it, but they're not actually the ones at that moment making the music. And then, you know, we have the different parts. We had on Thursday before the game, we had the 7th grade football team come to our practice and put that with us. And, you know, I had to get a recording of the cheerleader song to the cheerleading advisor, you know, months ago for them to choreograph a routine. And you know, they came to a practice and put that together with us. And, you know, Mr. Nussbaum, our percussion instructor, been working on drum set platforms with, you know, for probably a month. And, you know, kids brought in their own drum sets to be part of that. And we have a drum rack out there that he had to put together, and, you know, writing the drum break, choreographing all those routines. And there's a lot of complicated things that go into a show like that. So it's a long process, but, you know, those 10 minutes, it all comes down to 10 minutes at the show, and I thought the kids did a good job pulling it off.
Well, it's no secret when you have a large group like you do with students you're working with, large staff, you have a very supportive booster club. Tell us more about the booster club, and for maybe a band parent who's kind of sat back maybe, or somebody else who would like to get involved. Tell us about the booster club and how people can get involved.
Well, our booster club, you know, basically is all our parents in some way, shape, or form. We've asked all of them to get involved in some way, whether that's working at the concession stand or volunteering a little time here with a fundraiser or there. And so everybody's kind of involved in a little way, but we just, you know, obviously have different levels of involvement. You know, we have a great group of officers this year. Our president is Nicole Morgan, Vice President Lisa Markley, Secretary Kathy Howe, our treasurer is Lori Steiner, and our alumni rep is Christy Jadell. And so those 5 ladies actually have done a fabulous job, and they put in so much time with concession stands and, you know, organizing chaperones and things like that. And so anywhere from a little involved to a lot involved, we have all sorts of parents. But if anybody wants to get more involved, you know, talking to our officers is a great way to do that. But also we have monthly meetings starting here in September that they can come to, and they're in the band room Thursday nights, and everybody can check out tigerswingband.com for details.
Very good. All right, we're going to spend more time with Mr. Neel in just a moment, but first this word from Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon.
Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon has the best selection of tiger apparel in the area. And this year, Howard's Tiger Rags is the proud sponsor of the Swing TV show on WHS-TV. Get the latest football t-shirts available in short and long sleeves, along with great-looking hoodies. And don't forget about their infant and toddler apparel. See their large selection of memorabilia, along with mugs and glasses. Need a tiger hat? Howard's has dozens. And see their prom apparel as well. Stop in at Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon and like them on Facebook.
And thanks to our sponsor, Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon. Jason Neel, our guest. I'm Dave Sheets. Thanks for joining us. And besides the football games, Jason, what area high school band shows is our band participating in this fall?
Well, we just last week performed at the Starr County Fair Band Show. We count that because there's 18 bands in Starr County that show up for that. But we'll also be at the Jackson High School Band Show on Saturday, September 16th.
Okay.
And we host our own the following week, Tiger Band Review. And in October, I think it's October 14th, somewhere around there, we'll be at the Buckeye Band Show again, the Buckeye Invitational. So we really enjoy playing at that show. And
that's at Ohio State.
That's at Ohio State, and with their band, and lots of bands from around the state, but we've been invited a number of years in a row, so we're excited to be back there.
Very good. Now, since the football game this week is at Warren, can you give us a little peek at your actual rehearsal schedule this week and then the travel schedule for Friday?
Well, Monday was Labor Day, so we didn't practice, but we have, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll be getting ready. Really, we're going to spend that time on our next shows that we're working on, Show 3 and Show 4 for the upcoming weeks, to get those things moving ahead. But on Friday, we'll be having our run-through before we leave. We'll run through at 3:15, and we'll be departing for Warren about 4:30. So getting ready for an away game.
Yeah, it's always fun. Well, I know that when you do an away game, it's a repeat of a prior home game performance. So what are we going to see on Friday night?
Well, we'll be taking our New York City Swing show. And actually, that's going to be our road show, because just about every other show we're planning for a home game is unique to that moment.
Okay.
We had our 7th grade football team and cheerleaders for this show and drum sets. It's not something we can easily take on the road. Next week we'll have our junior high join us. They're not going to travel with us.
Right.
So we have a lot of special shows planned for our own home games. So our swing show works well to take on the road. So you'll see our New York City Swing this Friday night at Warren.
Is that also the show that you do for the upcoming band shows?
It's the one we'll do for Jackson Band Show.
Okay.
We'll do a different one for our home band show, and we'll do a separate one for the Buckeye show.
Busy times.
It is.
All right. We want to thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
We want to thank Mr. Neel, again, the director of the Massillon Tiger Swing Band, for joining us here on Swing. Our show is sponsored each week by Howard's Tiger Rags in downtown Massillon. And be sure to join us every Wednesday night following the Nate Moore Show. And for Jason Neel, I'm Dave Sheets. Thanks for watching.